All right, guys. Paul Singh, market speculator with the Intraday Report. SPY pulling back today, down about 0.5%, which is fine. We've got consolidation here. We're still holding the 9 and easily the 200-day. It is a little concerning that there's so much red here, and some of the sectors that have been stronger are not doing so well today. But again, this is just in the midst of a pullback, so we're all right. But in terms of specific trades today, we talked about biotech and wanting to get in as we were getting this bottoming formation, especially in XBI, which is more of the small cap biotechs, versus IBB, which is more of the larger cap. So you can kind of think of it as SPY versus IWM when we're looking at the overall market. And both of them getting hit today. I actually considered it earlier in the day, but this is why sometimes I like to wait till the end of the day so we can let that intraday action play out and then get a good feel for where we're going to end up and continue here. And I don't want to enter on this kind of candle. So what we're going to look for here, and again, there's a W pattern in here, good volume coming in. So overall still good, but maybe this is getting a little crowded here and there's some selling, and also the market itself not doing great today. So we've got a pullback under the 50. Now, maybe if we close strong, I'll still consider entering. We're an hour and 15 minutes from the close right now. But really what I would like here is maybe a few days of pullback and then we enter. So again, this is where we're patient. I talked about this in the morning report. We've had 2 days this week, no trades, and actually lightening up, or we got out at UWTI today. So now I've only got 3 positions where I believe at one time I had 7 or 8, but we're down to 3 positions and we're going to wait for the next move. You can see here a lot of red today, a little bit of green, and not the best day to be entering. And sometimes on a day like this, I'll still enter a pullback position that looks good. But if we look at some of our watch list here, BRZU, kind of a big gap down drop here, Cyber, these are not the kind of drops I want to see, or pullbacks I want to see, or if they are pulling back, I'd like to see how it reacts to the pullback. So for instance, one of the stocks I really want to get into is FSLR. Again, we already had a nice profit from it. We exited pretty much at the right time to exit here, and now it's pulled back hard. Even though I've wanted to enter on a pullback, I want to see confirmation of entering. I don't want to just enter it as it's pulling back. Now, if we could pull back here, and then maybe it runs up and closes above the 9, that's where I would get in. Looking for some kind of confirmation there. So for instance, when we originally got into FSLR, it was off the pullback here, and we didn't enter on this pullback or on this candle here. We waited for it to tell us that it was, okay, it's the right time to get in. And that's what we're going to do again with some of these. So I don't think we're going to get an entry today. Maybe I might even short something like, let's look at Tesla here. We've talked about how extended Tesla is, and now it's breaking below the 200-day. So maybe we can take a stab at something like that as a short. But for longs, not really looking at anything today. So a little different than what I was talking about this morning, where I really wanted to enter something today, especially in biotech. I've changed that intraday. Going over our current positions, now UWTI exited here at 25, came down to 24. Basically, the strategy was that the entry was at 20, or right around 20, at 2040. We took partial profit at 29, and then a lot of people will put their stop up to the entry level. What I do is look for a logical place to lock in profit. So I don't want it to go all the way back down. And for me, that was about 25, where we still had this open gap here. Maybe it bounces off that level and we could stay in. But once it got to 25, that's a lot of profit to potentially give up. So I wanted to lock that in. So we got out at 29 and 25, which makes the average exit on the whole position to about 27, which is nice for a $20 stock. What else? Amazon here. Nice move in Amazon. Not really going with what the market's doing, up 1.6%, while the market is down 0.5%. And we're getting what we were expecting here, that remount of the moving average. And we played it a little aggressively here. But looks like it's going to bounce here, and hopefully now we get the trend up and we're going for 600 here. So Amazon looking really good. BPI moving in the direction we want it to. We played this inverted hammer 1030, and we've got the stop up here. Now continuing, it's been a little slow, and we're looking for that crack now. And I think once the 9 here, if that can crack, we've got to move potentially a move to 9 or maybe even 850. So we're just waiting for that breakdown here, but looking pretty good so far. And then our short position with short gold, which we're actually long DZZ, the inverse to do that. Nice move up today, was around 650, 660, and it's pulled back into around 640, but we still have that gap up here. And the entry was at 625 or 630, somewhere in there. So going in the direction we want it to. And if we look at GLD, looking pretty good here in terms of now starting to roll over. We have the gap down, and hopefully it gets in here and tests that open gap here at either 112 or even down here at 109. So our positions are working the way we want them to, and we're going to be patient, not to enter anything today, most likely, unless something changes going into the close. So that's it for the intraday report. I'll probably see you tomorrow morning with the trade report pre-market.